Chalat Charanaravindam refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who actually walks or travels upon the surface of the world. For example, Lord Ramachandra actually walked on the surface of the world. And Lord Krishna also walked just like an ordinary man. The prayer is therefore offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead who descends to the surface of the earth or any part of this universe for the protection of the pious and the destruction of the impious. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that when there is an increase of irreligion and discrepancies arise in the real religious activities, the Supreme Lord comes to protect the pious and kill the impious. This verse indicates Lord Krishna. Another significant point in this verse is that Lord comes Ichchaya, by his own will. As Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya, I appear at my will by my internal potential power. He is not forced to come by the laws of material nature. It is stated here, Ichchaya. He does not assume any form as the impersonalists think, because he comes at his own will, and the form in which he descends is his eternal form. As the Supreme Lord puts the living entity into the condition of horrible existence, he can also deliver him, and therefore one should seek shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna demands, give up everything and surrender unto me. And it is also said in the Bhagavad Gita that anyone who approaches him does not come back again to accept a form in the material existence, but goes back to Godhead, back home, never to return. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So the prayers of the living entity in the womb of his mother continues, the womb of the human soul. I take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who walks on the surface of the world and who gives me relief from all fears, and also having received this condition of life, which is befitting my impious activities. When the living entity comes to the human form, when he receives a human form, it's a special situation, unlike the living entity in other forms. Therefore, it says, the human soul says. Now, we see that the human beings in this world largely they don't remember God, or they don't remember their suffering, which is what we observe in this world. Most of the people are agnostic, some are atheist, some believe in God. The fact that this kind of prayer is made by every living entity in the womb of the mother is corroborated here by this observation that even if he is an atheist, he has some conception of God that there is no God. So basically, the awareness of God, whether He exists, whether He does not exist, or is there in all human beings. To say that there is no God also is a kind of a level of consciousness which is undifferent from, not, which is quite different from the consciousness of the animal. Animals do not say either God exists or they don't exist, or God does not exist. They're neither agnostic, they're neither atheist nor they are theist. So, the very fact that every human being has this concept of God, when he says there is no God, what he means to say is that there is no controller. It means he has a concept of a controller. Where did it come from? It came from the womb of, in each life, before it takes birth, he has an encounter due to his intense suffering. We are not very, very far off. If you are 20 years old, 20 years back you have talked to God. If you are 5 years old, whether he is atheist, non-atheist, or anybody in this world, you see any person, even you see a karmi, you can tell him that, at least in your mind, in your heart you can tell him, you have spoken to God. How old are you? 20 years. You have spoken to God 20 years back. What has he spoken? I take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears in his various eternal forms and walks on the surface, because all this memory comes. Because where is this? This is not learned from somewhere. When we, after taking birth, then after education, as we go on, somebody teaches us that God comes down, avatara, walks on the earth and all these things. But here no education, nothing. The soul in the womb of the mother is praying. I take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears on his various eternal forms and walks on the surface of the world. I take shelter of him only because he gives me a relief from all fear, and from him I have received this condition of life, just befitting the impious activities. So that is why it is said this human form of life is so precious that you take birth with darshan of the Lord. Not darshan, awareness of the Lord. You talk to the Lord. And then immediately you forget. That is the nature of the material world. That is the nature of the arrangement of the Lord. It is the arrangement of the Lord that you forget. Unless you consciously now revive and willfully establish your connection with him. So a human being is born. Once the baby is out into this material world, that baby is almost like animal. Everything is forgotten. Eating, sleeping, that's all. Then as it grows, new things come, mating, defending, all these things come, which even animals do. So it's completely the same living entity who has prayed to the Lord in the womb is completely covered up its consciousness. And then the living entity, by experiencing in this material world the sukha due to his punya, karma, and dukkha, adhyatmika, adidaivic kleshas, due to his papa karma, the living entity starts questioning Brahma Jijnasa. That is why it is said that human form of life, a necessary stage is Brahma Jijnasa. Who is God? Who is me? Who is God? It makes sense because just recently he has had an encounter with God. So precious is the human form of life. And it is in this human form of life there is civilized life. In animal world also there are relationships between animals, there are relationships rasas. But in the human form of life you see everything is civilized, more disciplined. It is designed to be like that, so that the living entity learns how to use his free will as it should be used according to his nature of being the servant of the Supreme Lord. What is the identity of the living entity? When he does Brahma Jijnasa, he sees, who am I? What am I? When he sees birth, death, he says, what is this existence? What was my bearing before the bearing in this current body, or what was my coordinates in existence? Where was I? What was I? Or what am I now? This material body, I cannot be this material body. This material body has no characteristics of personality. No difference between this material body and any other yantra, machine of material energy. So realizing this, how everything slips away from our consciousness, our identity in this material world. As this material body just evaporates. So as long as we think my existential being is this body, that is called false ego, this body, and we live a life based on this, I am this body, then that's how the animals are living. So human form of life is a situation where we can actually go beyond false ego and go to real ego. False ego means my existence is my body. This body is my existence. This is false ego. Real ego means I am not this body, but I am spirit. I am spiritual servant of Krishna. I am Brahman, not of matter, but I am a person. Spirit means person. Part and parcel of a person means you are a small person. You are a amsha. Mamai vamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So in the human form of life, with intelligence, we clearly understand that I cannot be all these things. I cannot be this body. The body I have taken once and taken so many personalities, childhood personality, boy, girl, man, woman, then old age has to come and this body will fall apart. What am I then? If I am not this body, if I am not Mr. So-and-so, if I am not Mrs. So-and-so, who am I? This is Brahma Jijnasa. It's a very serious question. That is why death is very fearful. Because you do not know who you are. Because as a human being, you already realized. Even the worst human being realizes that this body I have to leave this body. That is the meaning of death. Because in his life we have seen so many are dying, so it will die. I have to leave this body. Then it strikes. I have to be where I cannot be this body. Then I am a person, but I am a person. Very easily, by simple logic, you understand what is the difference between the living body and the dead body. The personality, the person who became the personality of that Mr. So-and-so is no longer there. The person is no longer there. The person is substance. The person means one who thinks, who feels, who wills, who desires, and who bees. Bees means one who takes different roles. One who becomes. Soul means ego. Ego means that which becomes something. I can become this body. The ego, by identification, I am this body, it becomes this body. That means it becomes a bodily personality. That means ego can take up personalities based on identification. Identification is a basic faculty of the soul. Just like even now, if I tell you to go on a stage and take a role play as a king or as a beggar or whatever it is, immediately you can dress up and you can actually become a beggar, become a king. Yes or no? Where is this ability coming from? The soul. That very same ability we have utilized to say that I am this body and playing this drama. In Maya's kingdom, I am this body. But what is our original identity? I am part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. There is no other way we can define who I am unless we find who our source is. Each one of us, or every material energy, marginal energy, every energy has a source in Krishna. That is the meaning of God. God means Krishna. Krishna is a source of everything. Sarva Karana Karana. First we have to philosophically understand Krishna, God. So unless the tattva is understood, that I am of the same quality of God, you cannot really understand God as a person, because you will tend to think God is a material person. You will tend to think. So that is why association is required with Sat. Sat means person, truth. Absolute truth is person. The Supreme Sat, whose quality is Chit and Ananda. We are also Sat with qualities of Chit and Ananda. So just even common logic if you apply, it's so bewildering that we cannot trace anything in this material existence where you can say, I belong to this or I belong to that. No space, no time, no substance. But my innermost desire is what? There is a base for me. What is that base of my existence? That Krishna reveals in the Bhagavad Gita. Mamaevam cha jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana aham sarvasya promata sarvam pravartate. He is a base. So God realization means understanding the common base of everything in existence. Common base means source. Then common controller of everything in existence. The common big self of every tiny self. So close, every living, every part is to the Supreme Lord. This distance from God is self-created by Maya. Each one of us, however fallen we are, the soul is very close to the super soul. Why? Because you come from him. You come from something. From what I came, can I be separated? Cannot. That means Krishna is, in one form or the other, always connected to every living entity. And that is Krishna's Leela. His entire existence that he has created, that is his Leela. Not living entity's Leela, that is his Leela. Therefore, here the living entity is saying, he having the realization, you alone can give me relief from all fear. And from him I have received this condition of life, which is just befitting impious activities. The living entity even remembers impious activities. That means it is in the human form of life that the soul develops a conscience. It's a reality, the conscience. Something pricks. Oh, I am doing something wrong. That means there is something right and wrong. The animals do not have this, what is right and wrong. This moral consciousness is not there in the animal, only in the human form. So what is right and wrong? That means to know right and wrong is a very, very elevated consciousness. Among the unlimited species of life that are there, it's an elevated state of consciousness to know what is right and what is wrong. Or if you do not know what is right and wrong, then that is called tamasi, tamoguna. Or you have your own concocted idea of what is right and wrong. That means some sense of right and wrong is there, but you have your own concocted thing. Because you have some material desires. What is favorable to the desire is right for you, what is not favorable is wrong. That is called in the mode of passion. And when you know what is right and wrong according to God's will and God's design, which is where, as per the scriptures, then that is in mode of goodness. Krishna reveals that in the Bhagavad Gita. That's mode of goodness. Happiness in the mode of goodness, happiness in the mode of passion, determination in the mode of passion, determination, the austerity, all are described by Krishna. So except the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, basically take the Bhagavad Gita, the revelations in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna. He is the only revelation where who are we can be understood. What is this existence can be understood. One may say, why in Bhagavad Gita, why elaborate philosophical evidence, philosophical argument, philosophical truth? Like that he should prove he is the cause of all causes. No, there is no use proving like that. It's just like going and telling your father, see, I won't accept you as my father and mother unless you prove you are my father and mother. Here Krishna is saying there is nobody in competition for me. Nobody has declared even, I am the cause of all causes. Nobody has declared that everything is coming from me. He has made sure nobody has declared, except mad people probably. If he says he's a sadhu also, you don't find any sadhu or anybody, even Babas and Sai Babas, and nobody dares to declare that everything is coming from me. Not a single person, historically, philosophically, any character you take, has told, Aham sarvasya prabho mata sarvam pravartate. What a statement. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. What authoritative statements Krishna is making in Bhagavad Gita? Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishta. I am in everybody. So that the ego of Krishna should strike us. That is called Krishna consciousness. So many people read Bhagavad Gita, take philosophy this way, that way. They miss out the essence. What is the essence? The ego of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should feel his ego. If you can feel his ego in the Bhagavad Gita, then that is Krishna consciousness. Krishna has revealed his ego. Ego means individuality. This unique Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he has revealed. If you read Bhagavad Gita with the desire to enjoy feeling his ego, you will enjoy Bhagavad Gita. You will want to read again and again and again and again and again. Some people say, some philosophers say, oh, all this Vishwarupa, simply imagine in Sankalpa, description Krishna is saying all those things. Vyasadeva wrote all these things. Not that Krishna actually showed anything to Arjuna. Actually, a devotee, when he reads it, he will see the glory of the Lord. The way it is described, how Arjuna describes the glory of the Lord. How many heads you have, how many this thing, his entire Virat Rupa. So that is because of our great, it is also part of our spiritual exercise. That in the womb of a human soul, all these experiences are given. This is also another reason why human life is very important. Human life is very special. Because if you take birth in any other womb, this experience will not be there. Here, there is a special experience before being born into this material world. So very close to realize God, self and God. When you see human beings who are atheists, you should not think they are very far away from God. Maybe animals are very far away from God. Animal consciousness, very much distanced from God in their consciousness. But this potential of human form is very, very much there. Therefore, every human being is preachable. Only the covering is different degrees. So ultimately, Krishna gives this experience just because the human soul, I take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is saying, Hurry, if he has taken shelter, then Krishna should be protecting him. He already told once, I take shelter. He should have protected him only. Why again he went into Maya? Such a nice prayer he is making. Look at the prayer. I take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears in his various eternal forms, walks on the surface of everything he forgets. Because these things are out of fear, out of trouble, out of pain, the living entity prays. Krishna does not want that. Many people say, why Krishna can force, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we should force everybody to go back to Godhead. Anybody who wants to be forced to go back to Godhead, that back to Godhead is this material world. This is also kingdom of God. Be here. You want to come to that section of Godhead? You have to voluntarily, lovingly perform devotional service. Entry is there for those who want to voluntarily, lovingly serve the Lord. Otherwise, be here, I have no problem. Krishna is not worried. He maintained this material world. He says, Sambhavami, yuge yuge, comes again and sees that the system runs. The system of any opportunity for any pious living entity to come back to Godhead, to awaken his bhakti. That system I will protect. Just like Prabhupada, today morning Mangalarti quote Prabhupada said, those who are chanting Hare Krishna, they will be saved. All others will be finished. No, saved doesn't mean if the bomb falls, then, bomb will spare all of you, all of us, and others will go away. It's not like that. Maybe all bodies will go. And then nuclear immune, bodies which are immune to nuclear radiation, Krishna will create, a new life will begin. People think that if there is a atomic bomb, then the existence is gone. Where existence? Soul cannot go, no. Just like Prabhupada says, you can in the sun planet, there are living entities with sun, fire body. So similarly, this current body is not resistant to gamma radiation and all these things, atomic bombs. But let the nuclear bomb will blow, and then you will have different type of bodies which is resistant. Life doesn't end there. Life doesn't end there. So when that life begins, then all those who chant Hare Krishna will be rising up, the top of the world. So if there is a world war, if there is everything going to get wiped out, don't get worried. That is also power of Sankirtana. When the Lord wants, He will blow the world also. And golden age will come. Where is the golden age? How is it going to come? Everybody wonders, golden age of Lord Chaitanya, how is it going to come? All this now, so I can't believe that all these people who are so crazy, they are going to become Krishna conscious. No, they'll all get wiped out, and the population of Krishna conscious people will fill in this golden age. The predictions always come true. Just like Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. The same way, in Kali Yuga, is a golden period of 10,000 years. It will come through. So anyway, each living, at least devotee, he is secure that my eternal maintainer is Krishna, my eternal provider is Krishna, my eternal protector is Krishna, I am servant of Krishna, finish. Everything is rooted in Krishna, not in this body. This body itself is one circumstance in which I am utilizing for Krishna's service. But he is fully settled at the lotus feet of Krishna. He is fully settled. His ego is settled his tiny ego is settled as a servant of the supreme ego, Krishna. Finish. And this is the devotee's meditation, his situation. Homely situation. Then he may take so many identities for service. I am this body. With this body I have to do that, all these things. He may have to do that. But while doing that, he never forgets his home. Just like people go outside and they have to put up so many different faces. They go to the office the morning onwards. With the employee, another personality, with this, another personality, another customer, another personality. So many personalities again. Waiting to come back home in the evening. Appa, relax. Because there is no struggle at home. Unless wife also troubles. In Kali Yuga, there is no peace in the office. There is no peace in the home also. But our tendency is actually to come home and be little tension free. Pressure free. What is the pressure outside? Struggle for existence. But you come inside, there also there is a competition. You have no peace at all. Of course, there is no peace even at home. But our tendency is to have a home. But this material home is never going to give us that homely feeling. Therefore, then you start searching, where is my home? Vairagya comes. Arey, office mein nahi hai, ghar mein nahi hai. But I want peace. Vairagya develops. And that Vairagya comes when I depend on only my Lord. Only there. So devotee learns how to completely depend upon the Lord, live for the Lord. And the Lord is not very far. He's not some far away Lord. He's your Amsha of Lord, means the Purna is also connected. He's active. Your home, where is your home? Home is at super soul is the home. In our heart, the Lord is there. That is our home. Unless we learn how to take shelter in the super soul, how to be a surrendered servant of the super soul, how to pray to the super soul, how to cry to the super soul, how to have full faith and confidence in the super soul, how to have faith that He is my only protector, He is my only maintainer, He is my only provider. Finish, happy. And one should meditate on this every day. From that platform, one should do all devotional services. Not on the platform, I am this body, my existence is this body. No. I am spirit, soul, servant, same quality as Krishna, I am part and parcel of Krishna, and then this body is one situation. Through this body, I shall serve Him. I have no fear at all, because if I say I am this body, I have fear. I have existential fear, whether I'll get uta, whether I'll get shelter. These fears all will come, natural to everybody. Animals are always living in fear of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Defending is fear. Any question? उत्तम की जाए, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जाए।